We on?
Bang.
Man.
Such on time, guys. We want to let you guys know we're the most punctual people on earth, and we are always on time. We never run late, no matter if it's raining, shining, thunderstorms, the mountains. We are like the U.S. Coast Guard. We show up.
We show up. Like today, 21 minutes late. But you know what? One way or another, we'll still get there.
We'll get there. Hey, you can count on us. You know what I'm saying, Drew? You can count on us.
Absolutely.
Hey, let's touch on a little bit, give your opinion on last week's podcast with Kat that was on. What did you think? Just what did you think, man?
I think it was great, man. I really enjoyed getting to know her. It's always, in my opinion, a good thing to get, just a female perspective, on what this disease looks like on their end. And, it was kind of fun to talk to somebody else who works in treatment, somebody who's been around the block.
Yeah.
And, all around, it was a good experience, man.
I thought it was good, too. Because I struggled to know what a woman's experience, what their perspective is on things. I mean, at the end of it, it's like, we think a lot of the same things. That's kind of what I noticed.
Yeah.
Like, we think of a lot of the same things, but like, we are different species.
And it's like I don't know if you went to a co-ed treatment center, but it's
like the first one, and then they're like, "Yeah, we're cutting that shit."
Yeah, we're cutting that shit out.
Yeah.
But it's like all the guys, like where I went to, they were all like, the women and the men were separated, on different sides of the treatment center, and so like all the guys are just like, God, I wonder what all the girls are doing over there, and damn well the girls are like, God, I wonder what all those guys are doing over there, and so it's just like it's always interesting to hear how somebody's experience really goes, rather than just like thinking about what people are doing and coming up with your own bullshit.
Yeah, this is what happened when I went to treatment with a co-ed. All right, you ready for this? It was not too far from here, up in the old hills of the what do they call that? What are the hills? Like Fredericksburg area. What is it? What is it? What do they call that? It's
I don't know. I'm from Houston, dude.
Oh, okay. Well, if anybody would know, you would know. I forget what it's called. Something they call it something like it's like the gateway to the. I don't even know. People go there and drink wine all the time, and it's like in the hills. Everybody wants to retire in Fredericksburg.
Hill country.
Hill country.
Okay.
Bam. That's
there
it.
we go.
So the hill country.
Yeah.
So I went to one out there in the hill country. I won't say any names because I don't want to be sued for defamation of character or whatever. But I went there and there was females and males, and dude, what a shit show, brother.
Yeah.
What a shit show. There was girls getting banged over the fucking AC unit in the back, dude. Dude, I'm serious. Like, it was bad.
Yeah,
it was an absolutely shit show. So like, anything I know like that, if you're thinking about going to treatment center, like your head's gonna be the one to think it's like a vacation. Like, don't take that route.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
No, I would definitely advise against that for anyone who's looking at a treatment center, and a lot of people are going to think, dude, well, I can't just be around all dudes for, 30, 60, 90 days.
Yeah.
I have to have some kind of female in my life, but that's just setting yourself up for disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, no, absolutely would agree. It's like why distract yourself with something else,
Yeah.
And like, what's more powerful than, there's not much more powerful than, my dad told me this. He said a dude will go more places with a hard dick than he'll go with a machine gun. Think about it.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And that's facts, dude.
That's facts.
So
dude.
like, it's like, why would you want to cloud yourself anymore? And if you're trying to like truly work on yourself,
And that's the thing exactly, is that like we are working on ourselves, and we were taking drugs originally in our life, or drinking, or doing whatever to make ourselves feel good.
Mm-hmm.
It was trying to make ourselves feel better than we really were. And what's going to happen when we go to treatment? Bam, all that feeling good and all that shit's going to go down for a little bit. Yeah. All that dopamine that we were seeking goes straight down. We're miserable.
Yeah.
So what's the next thing we're going to do to try and feel good?
Oh, yeah, you already know.
And try and get her dick wet. Or,
well, it's like, it's very easy when you first get sober.
Yeah, and when people are in treatment, and this goes for girls and for guys, you go in there broken people.
Mm-hmm.
You, emotionally, physically, spiritually, you are going in there just a broken person. You did not come into treatment on a winning streak.
Yeah.
And
so my dad always said, hey, man, this place wasn't built on winners.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, you're right, dude. That's so true, though.
And so, when you have two self-conscious people that are craving some kind of self-validation or validation from others or any kind of just, emotional uptick, what do you think's gonna happen when you mix guys and girls together in
It's
a?
gonna be a shit show.
I mean,
dude. That are coming off of like the worst runs in their lives of like being like just in the corner of their house and like just a miserable existence of like and all of a sudden they're showing a little bit of attention. They're physically starting to feel better. Their emotions are still everywhere, and all of a sudden like. Dude, Jeffrey from fucking Minnesota, dude, looks real good. That's the love of my life, and I met him in detox. I bet you did. You know what I mean? Like, that shit's hilarious. And it happens all the time. Oh, yeah. Here's the thing for you got people listening that don't know about the whole treatment thing. It's like it could, tell me if I'm wrong here. Sometimes turns into like this gross ass sexual cult, I don't want to say culty, but like it's like almost a weird like orgy that goes on. I know that sounds wild. I don't mean like everyone getting together, but like people start dating each other, or it's really not dating. They hook up with each other in treatment, and they find each other within the rooms of AA or CA or whatever you're affiliated with. And it is, bro, it's the most like it's almost as devastating, or I should say like detrimental. Than anything that's going on, like when you're getting sober or sober. It's like, here's my thing. And you can get mad at me all you want to, and people probably do. And they're like, well, you're an asshole. Well, what I've learned is I don't think it's very smart for me to be trying to date or go after someone who's in recovery. You got 2 sick people, man. 2 sick people. And with all kinds of fucked up things going on. It's like, I think that I found my twin soulmate.
Oh boy.
So here's the thing. I got this to say. How about you try to date a normal person every now and then? I know they can go both ways. Well, I don't want to date a normal person. They're too boring. Okay, well, you need to figure out how to get a little normal in your life.
Yeah. You need a little bit of complacency, or like a little bit of tone it down.
Structure.
But, I think that I've seen a lot of nightmares, seen a lot of horror stories, and I've seen some people who met their fucking wives, and
which is amazing. Hey, good for you.
Yeah, and so be it, and that's awesome. But I think that early on, especially early on, in recovery, it's probably not a good idea to throw gasoline on the fire.
Oof.
Because you guys are both trying to figure your lives out right now.
Yeah.
And the sad fact is that you are just, by dating somebody else from recovery, you're increasing the statistics or the probability of you relapsing dramatically.
Yeah.
Because if that other person relapses, you're not going to not relapse.
Sure, you're both going down.
You're both going down. And if you relapse, you're doing the same thing to her, vice versa. Yeah. I mean, it's just...
Well, the thing is like, if you were working a good program and you're living a life, you would have picked up on some of that stuff and told that person, yo, you got to go. I can't date you no more.
Yeah.
So if you're riding it through until like the relapse with them, you obviously, there's parts of your armor that's been tinkered with, man. It's falling off, and you might not even know it, and that's the scary part. Yeah. You're even talking about it right now.
How many people are going to be like, yeah, she's slipping, but man, I love her, man.
Yeah, but
I love her, dude.
I see the potential.
Yeah, she appreciates me, and I got to save her. It's just like, bro, you got to save yourself right now, dude, because you're going down.
Yeah, I know.
You're going down in a fucking anchor.
Man. I mean, it gets wild. And I'll share my experience. Like right now, I'm in like I don't even know what you would call it. It's probably the most one of the most genuine ways I've ever met somebody.
You're in the courting phase.
Yeah, it's kind of a courting phase. First got into recovery and was like, all right, waited, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months, something like that, and then, I mean, dude, it got wild.
You just let it rip, didn't you?
I let it rip on one person.
Yeah.
And dude, I don't know how to say this without getting my tire slashed or anything else, but like it was a wild ride. I'm from West Texas.
Yeah.
We do things a little different in West Texas. Everything looks a little different in West Texas. Mm-hmm. The sex looks different in West Texas. The way things, really, I got up here and I felt like I was thrown into some Back to the Future movie or some Matrix type of situation. I was like, hold on for dear life.
Oh, shit. I need a seatbelt.
I mean, experiencing things I've never felt before. Like, I ain't never felt that's off of Cheech and Chong. I never felt no shit like this before, man. Oh, my God. What is it? Like, that's what I felt like. Yeah. Or like that character from Wild Thornberrys, the brother. That's just kind of like what I was feeling the whole Anyways, you were there to experience that. Yeah. My point is also, like, so I saw that, and that person is a great person in there, and there's some really good things. We didn't match. So let's just be real. It's like if you were to look at it on paper and you write a sex ideal list, and it's like, okay, what about this person do you really like, and there's one item
Yeah.
in the list
Sex.
that matches.
Yeah.
Like, there's a physical attraction.
Yeah.
Other than that,
not a whole lot.
But to circle back to what you just talked to is like that physical attraction, that's the sex and the things that go along in that, dude, are powerful.
Yeah.
And like, so here's another thing to say is without this program, without principle and perspective and brotherhood and community, I don't know how far I would have taken that, And there's a sad story that ends that whole relationship thing that I had going. It's a sad story, and we'll talk about that some other time. I don't think it's appropriate. There's too much laughter going on, probably to like set the mood back down.
Yeah,
I mean,
seriously.
and I don't even know if that's my business to tell someone else's business, even though it's mine. I think I should get permission first.
Yeah.
And so I'll do the right thing by that. Anyways, to say things split up, and then I met another person, which is a super normal person. Probably one of the most beautiful souls I've ever met in my entire life. And I say that within like naiveness too. And just because they're rooted in good, their heart's like, I call them like pure-hearted people. You know what I mean? Like there's times in my life I feel like I've been pure-hearted, and I think I am naturally when I come back to it, just wanting the best for everybody and to do the right thing and wanting other people to succeed in my addiction that doesn't exist. This person is that.
Yeah.
And has just the way the relationship has been going is the most like, it's kind of how you're supposed to do things. You don't jump right into it. You get to know each other and you see each other's tendencies, and it starts out small with conversations and whatever. And then you look up and you're going to church together and you're trying to center your like life, not the relationship. You're not really thinking about that, but yourself around this whole God idea. And then you look up and you've been doing that together, and finally you ask her to go out on a date properly after like a few months. Like it's wild, but it's.
I was gonna say, man, I've been counting the weeks.
Yeah, I know.
I'm getting gray hairs watching you guys.
I know. And so finally took her. It was just like last night. I took her out to eat, and she, agreed to. And she's had her own things in life and has been let down, and now she's learning about a person that's in addiction. And can you imagine? I mean, like, and there's a lot of questions that you don't really understand and might not ever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's the most normal. This is one of the most beautiful people, and I just think there's a lot of there's people out there like that. We just don't come across them very very often, And so like I'm just like I feel like I've been very blessed in that area, dude, to see what this looks like. And it's not a forced thing. It's not a thing that I'm like having to not chase down. I get to be myself and get to share my truth with that. And then if it's okay, it's okay, and you understand. If not, then you know who I am, So it's been that part of the dating of this has been beautiful. Yeah, I don't know. And you've kind of stayed away from it, and good for you for that. There's just not a reason, I guess, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of, let me back up. So, I mean, this is, again, this is my fourth round trying to get this thing right.
Sure.
And I'm not saying that relationships were the cause of me going out in the past. I definitely have, because of relationships in the past, just going out on blind dates or going out on, on first dates, and, just having that one cocktail real quick and, thinking that I'm okay, and then ended up a week later I'm not. But, I've heard an almost overwhelmingly high number of people give me that recommendation of just, I'm not saying don't fall into a relationship. I'm just saying, stay away from it if you can. If something happens, great. But, if you can stay away from it and work on yourself for a year, then, you'd really be doing yourself a service.
Yeah.
And, maybe they're right. Maybe they're not. It's a lot of people who I do look up to and respect. And, again, I've got to get this thing right this time. I mean, like I'm through with this whole fucking going to treatment, getting out, going to treatment, getting out. And, I mean, who knows? Whatever's in the will of my higher power is in his will. But I'm going to take a lot more advice than I used to in the past. Yeah. And I think it's kind of just like a part where, if I were to stumble on and have a fucking meet cute and meet somebody at the grocery store in line or something, then great. But, but I mean.
Well, that's what I'm saying, that the authenticity of meeting someone like naturally.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. And that's kind of how that was.
Exactly.
What mine is. I wasn't even, and it just kind of wasn't. So like,
Tinder date or anything.
Yeah, I don't do all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, if I meet somebody, then great. If not, then, so be it. I'm working on myself right now. And I think that's just the step that everybody really needs to take, when they get out of treatment is, you have to work on yourself and you have to set yourself up for success. And if you go out of treatment, you just have faith in yourself, but you put all these obstacles in your way, then, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah. Why make it harder?
Yeah.
Why make it harder on yourself?
Yeah.
You're already the busiest you've probably ever been in your life when you're getting sober and navigating life again, and things are coming like 100 miles an hour at you. So like having time to share with someone else is hard anyway. And I think, and we've been, what does a woman want more and more of? And also a man there's only one thing, it's your time.
Time.
Yeah.
You want more of each other. Especially in the early phases, man, where it's just like, well, sorry, I can't meet with you right now. I've got to go to a meeting, and why don't you spend more time with me? Well, sorry. I'm, I'm currently managing a sober house. I work in treatment. I'm doing a sober podcast, and, I like hanging out with my friends in my spare time and plus to go to the gym, for an hour every day. And it's just like, I've got 30 minutes in the evening before I, throw my head down on a pillow and go to sleep
in between there.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's just like, it would almost be selfish for me to hop into a relationship right now, because it's like I feel like I'd be leading somebody on when I'm not really prepared to commit that much time to a relationship yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, and I'll tell a little story here because it's been a while.
Okay.
We were talking about telling this story.
Oh, this ought to be good.
We remember, the story. It's
well, we've told a lot of stories.
I know. Well, this one's interesting because this was kind of like, in my way, it's like God's way of laughing at me too. I was talking to this person early in recovery, and man, it sounded good. It sounded good. The photos that were being posted, that's all I had was like these photos of this person, remember? And she looked really good in the photos. I'm talking like stunner in the photos. And I'm like, all right. And I'm talking to her over a little bit of time. And I'm like, it was, yeah. And I'm like, hey, eventually it's like, yo, this is kind of weird. Shouldn't we like meet? I think it's like time to like hang out with each other or something. And dude, so it just got to that time, and dude, I knew off the rip though, and you knew off the rip because I came into the living room one night, and this was before I had met her, and I was like, dude, listen to this. I put her on like speakerphone.
Oh
my God. She talked like for like 10 minutes. I was like, and I had an actual like conversation with you.
Yeah. So just for you guys that are listening, let me just clarify. So, Jay was on the phone with this girl, and he comes out, and we meet up in the kitchen, we're both getting water or something, and he's got her on speakerphone, and she is just talking a million miles a minute, and he puts it on mute. He and I have a 3 to 5 minute long conversation, and then, all right, good night, clap hands, and he unmutes it, and it's going on. And Jay was like, yeah, well, no, I can say, oh, okay, yeah, great. And I've never seen anything like
that. So that happens, and then finally it was like, okay, well, let's hang out on Tuesday. Tuesday comes around, and some weird excuse would come up, like, no, I can't do it, or it was like, or she would start like some weird argument that I wasn't even prepared. Like, you're weird. Yeah, this is weird. I don't even know you, and you're trying to like argue with me like I'm your boyfriend.
Sorry for trying to hang out.
Yeah, and then she was like, all right, Thursday comes around, same thing, and I was like, all right, listen, this is weird already, and now you're making it more weird. Yeah, and this, we gotta, I don't even know if you're real. That's why I was like, I don't even know if you're real. Oh, what do you even know about me? And I'm like, okay, well, it's either like hang out or let's like, this is freaking me out. Okay, tomorrow night. And so I was like, all right, cool. Go. So I'm like, I'm gonna meet her, hang out with her, go over to her apartment, right? Type thing. Opens the door, dude. And I'm like, yo, is so-and-so home? And
didn't even recognize.
And they're like, yo, yeah, I'm so-and-so. That's me. Dude. It's like playing it off like, oh my God.
Oh no.
Like, and don't get mad, ladies, because I'm probably about to say something like, oh, this guy's such a whatever. But you just have to put yourself in anybody's mindset. Would you be upset?
Yes.
Right? You see all these photos, stunner, dude, looking real good. And that's fine. You can call me a guy for whatever. Oh, you didn't like her. Well, if her personality was crazy. It was a lot of
con.
It was con artist.
Yeah.
Straight catfish. Don't lie. Like, right?
Yeah.
I go there And I'm like, oh God. And, dude, she was
God.
like, I'm telling you, these photos, I showed you the photos.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, wow, like that's amazing.
I was impressed.
Okay.
I mean,
she opened the door. Dude, this is messed. She looked like a refrigerator. And that's messed up. And I don't care. People are gonna be like, this dude's such a dick, man. But I'm just telling you, I'm trying to give you a perspective of like, please be in my mind that this person was coming off as something they were totally not, dude. And then I had to, I was like the nice guy that I am, I promise.
Yeah.
I was like, like bite the bullet on this one, dude.
I guess I gotta go in.
So I go in, right?
Oh.
And we sit down on the couch for like 2 hours. And I'm like, oh no. Like, please don't touch. Just like, please don't. Let's just like, this is weirding me out. I'm like being.
No, get your hand off that thigh.
Yeah,
don't.
I'm like, dude, I called the dude and I was like, bro, I need you to call me in like 10 minutes and get me out of here. And he forgot to call. And so I'm like sitting there, and finally it's like getting late. I'm like, oh man, I gotta go. I gotta go. And it was really nice to meet you. And I hope we can do this again. Yeah. And I had to, dude. I had to.
Yeah.
What you want me to say? Like, and I could tell she was waiting for like some moment to appear. And let me tell you, son, no moment coming.
I wasn't coming.
Yeah, that moment left when I was like,
I remember I was on the couch and you just came walking in the door and you looked like some like drowned kitten that had just got.
I was like, God, dude.
You look so violated.
Dude, I was so upset. I mean, because like I got bamboozled.
Yeah. Right? Well, and so that's the thing is that like, you know, this story is not trying to shame anybody.
No, that's not.
It's not what it's about at all. But what it's about is like you need to be your authentic self. Like you can't show pictures of like what you look like 15 years ago.
And that's the thing is okay. So point that out is like the pictures that I was seeing of this person were from 4 years ago, pre-COVID, not after she ate COVID. Pre-COVID, dude. You know, and I'm sorry, but dude, I'm just telling you, like, get mad at me all you want to. Shit, I don't care. Like it was what it was, dude. Like. I mean, serious, dude. It was pre-COVID 4 years ago. These are the photos being posted, and you walk up on something totally different.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, I mean, what do you expect to happen? Like, what is going on in your brain to where you think like someone's gonna look at a completely different person and be like, "Oh, you got me," but that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, let's go on a date.
Yeah.
You know, like
okay. And then the reason that she kept pushing it off is because she knew what she was doing to me.
Yeah.
You know, like she knew what was going on. And then finally it was like, I guess, and then what the fuck did you think was going to happen? Did you think I was about to have some weird moment where I put on some glasses and things looked different?
I mean, you do know I quit drinking.
I'm like, oh, Jay, you are so shallow. Fine. Fuck it. I don't know.
Whatever.
Like, whatever you think, you do you. Let me do me. That was weird to me. It was super, super fucked up to me.
It was deceiving.
Very deceiving.
If you want to start a relationship off by being deceived, go right ahead.
Yeah.
You know, I'll take the shallow way out because I prefer integrity over that.
Yeah.
But, you know, and that's getting a little corny. But, I mean, you know, you said you were fucking bamboozled, dude. I mean, what?
I was so tricked, dude. I was so tricked.
I just remember you coming home that night and just being like, bro.
You're not gonna believe it.
It was bad.
It was bad. Dude. It was super, super bad. And so I had that experience with that. And then I kind of got to laugh at it. And I was just, you know, I was laughing and thinking, man, this is wild. Like, life is wild and it's interesting. And then, like, this, I'll end it with this. Whatever's going on in my life right now is so totally normal with it. And like this girl is way beyond beautiful than I could ever deserve. She's a super beautiful person. She's not from this country. She's like has totally like ingrained herself in culture here that is so off, or not necessarily so off, but it's different from hers. And she's like taking it by stride. Like she's honestly like an inspiration to me to be like, dude, there's whatever trials and tribulations or things that are thrown at you, it's possible. You know, that even goes with like love and compassion and all those great feelings that we think we don't deserve or can't ever have again, that it's not true. Like your past doesn't define you. It's what's like moving forward and like the person that you're becoming. And for someone to be able to know my true past and the mud of it and all the chaos that comes with it, and then to see this other person on the other side is a really beautiful thing to me. And like kudos to her for like sticking with that. And that also shows me like, you know what, like this grace thing is real.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing, and everybody deserves to have it. Everybody deserves to feel love, and everybody deserves companionship one day, and like a person to share this life with. And whether that's this person now with me or not, it's just shown me that is actually truly possible. And to see someone work through their own stuff that's normal and with such a great attitude, and to like give gratitude back to just back and forth within that relationship, it's just cool, man. And I'm glad I get to like see. I've gotten to see all types of things, and then you kind of know what everyone deserves, and that where the disease is still working on some people, and then some people you're just different, know, and you're different wavelengths, and I think that's okay too.
Yeah. So how long did you end up talking to her before you able to get out of that situation?
Which one?
The catfish.
Oh, that was like next day.
Next day?
I was like, this isn't
gonna work.
Yeah, like this ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
You knew immediately when you saw me, like you knew that I knew.
Yeah.
And we had to like act weirdly prolong this for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
You know, it was just, dude.
Well, see,
that's never happened to me before.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, I mean, that's being, that's living in integrity. At least you were able to, end it off.
Yeah.
You're able to
and
say sorry.
I say that. I don't think I said sorry.
Well,
I'm just saying, I didn't, could it have gone better? Yeah, but I felt like, at that point, I was like, this is kind of what it is. You tricked me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to sit down and owe you an amends for what? For if I'm bouncing, you knew this. Come on. Like, it's not always here's the thing, dude. I don't think it's my responsibility to always be the bigger person. Mm-hmm. I think that's fucking foolery. Like, always be the bigger person. Are you kidding? I don't think that's the truth all the time. I think you strive to do the right thing sounds more familiar.
I think you strive to be a good person.
Yeah, I agree with that. But you need to always be the right person. You need to always be the bigger person, Drew. That means that you don't have things that can affect you, or that means that you have to be flawlessly perfect.
Yeah.
And that's unrealistic to me.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I deserve to fucking stomp my fucking feet on the ground and
throw a fit.
I
Yeah.
mean,
or be upset with somebody.
Yeah. I mean, fuck it.
Yeah. Why not?
I mean, so that's a good point. And, I mean, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking of refrigerator.
No, I do. I know. And I'm about to get some hell over that, dude. I already know. Because, I think 60% of our listeners are women. Well, that's what the analytics say. And I'm sorry, women. Listen, I love every one of y'all. I do. I seriously do. I think there's beauty in so many. There's such beauty in every different type of person. And I'm not trying to make fun of, I did. But, dude, I'm not going to climb my way out of this hole because it is what it is, and I'll stand firm, and I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you guys. It did trip me out, the fact that she had all of a sudden,
put on some...
I'm talking not some.
Substantial.
A curtain of...
Well,
I mean, anyways...
I'd love to hear from our listeners, too. I want to hear from some women who have been,
I'm about to get murked.
Oh, I mean, I'd love to hear about some women who've gone on dates with guys who have done that same thing to them. Showed up and been like... What is this picture from 1982? Who the fuck are you?
Is this a picture of your dad?
Right?
Or whatever, dude.
Yeah.
That's it. There's some weird things that happen, that. But the thing is, I'm like, so I think this girl was drinking too. By the way, I think she was lying. She was alcoholic before, and that's another reason I'm like, it's so weird to try to date another, because you don't even know what their programs look like. Are they really doing this thing or not?
Yeah.
Their life doesn't really look like it.
And that's one of the tricky things is that couples get together who are both addicts or alcoholics, and it's like, well, do you work a program together? Do you work your separate programs?
Yeah.
Do you talk to each other about those separate programs? And it's like, someone's having a hard day. Do you spit some bid book at them, or you just try to be support?
I ain't. That's a nightmare.
That's a slippery slope.
That's kind of like a guy we know closely, and I won't say his name either because it's not fair to the person he's with.
Yeah.
And that, some of his complaints were the same thing, is she's always trying to work my program, or if something's going wrong, she's always like, hey, you need to write some inventory, or you need to go talk to your sponsor. And he's like, that's super, it gets annoying. And so we've talked sometimes through that with him, and I get that. So I think you got to keep them as separate as possible.
Yeah.
Or that can get real.
That's just
I would get real resentful, dude.
That gets hairy real quick.
I will say this. Guess who has 1 year of sobriety today?
You?
Yeah.
No shit, dude.
Got 1 year today, dude.
1 year today.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, we got to celebrate. Let's go to the bar.
Let's fuck it all up.
Dude.
And start over. This year has been so amazing.
Dude, let's burn it down. Burn it down.
I want to relive it again, dude.
Holy shit,
it's been
dude.
so great. Yeah, it's been
So you've got a year. I've got 7 months. So that makes sense because I moved in right when you were at like 8 months or something. So, dude, congratulations, brother. That's fucking awesome.
It's wild, dude. It's a whole God thing, and that's no bullshit, no cap, man. On that, it's a whole God thing that it's life looks the way that it does, and all this is possible because understand this. Like I'm the bottom of the barrel type junkie. I shoot heroin into my veins, and I smoke fentanyl from foil, and I shoot it as well, and I go to jobs I can't finish, and I don't show up for family functions. I don't check in on anybody else except my own well-being. At the end, like I'm selfish and self-centered, and I came. It's so important that I always remember. It's just like my thing is like I came into treatment and left with. I had like $2.59 in my name, and have built this life back with the only by the grace of God, dude. It was that's it. There's no other bullshit to it. I have some really cool people in my life, I got brothers like yourself. I got mentors like Damien, and I got great people who helped and reached out to me like Sammy, who I look up to, and Jonathan Stewart and those guys over there. And shout out Ranch House Recovery, dude, because they do things different. And it's not that I needed different. I needed grace, and I needed powerful men in my life, and they allowed that to happen for me. I needed a family that was strong and to put their foot down and to say, this is your life and this is your process. And if you want to grab a hold of that, want something of it, then you need to go make that for yourself. And we can no longer be a part of this if this is how you're going to choose to live. Those type of things saved my life. It was God humbling me such a place that, Jay, it's like there's only option here is you take a right here. This is gonna be this simple. You can take a right, you die. You take a left and follow me and trust me for the first time in your life. But that's the only way God could get my attention, unfortunately, and He got it. And I one foot in front of the other with an eye patch on, losing my eyesight, going crazy without sleeping for 15 days straight. I mean, I'm going crazy, dude. Not thinking and just being an emotional wreck, crying every single day to one of those guys, just letting them. I was up, dude. I was broken. Yeah. Now I'm talking about broken, dude, because I had been thought I'd been broken before, but this time I was so broken to where it was just like, whatever is in store for my life, I obviously have no idea, but this spirituality and this God thing, you got me here barely, dude. Seats coming out the car to the front gut, maybe barely making it, dude. And I got me in there. People loved on me and showed me grace and said, you know what, dude, here's your spiritual awakening. You do not have to ever use drugs and alcohol again, ever, if you don't want to. And for whatever reason, I said, you know what, I believe you. And I believe that your life is beautiful in the way that it is, and I want some of that. And the truth is, Drew, I ain't stopped since. Ass on fire. Let's go help some people. You have an experience, bring somebody else up, because their stigma around this shit is already bad, so fuck them anyway. Yeah. But, like, I am so humbled and so I love living in that spot, that little pocket of humility. It's like it's a good place because it's like, yeah, God, you have this, not me. And man, I feel so loved, and the community is great, and it's just been a wild year. Like the first of it was terrible, and it's not easy. And recovery and getting out of whatever situation you're in your life, it's not easy, dude. It's gonna be hard. Of course, you've spent so much time in comfortability of throwing all this shit on top of it that it's gonna take some unpacking. But here's the thing: is once you start that process and walk through the fear, and you get through some of that stuff, and then get through the beautiful side on the other, now God starts to really build you up, and it's like, watch this. Watch this life I'm about to show you and give you. And it's like you forget the material things. God starts doing the things that matter, like building that heart up. Your soul starts to come alive. You feel freedom, and shackles are taken off like never before, ever. And He's like, and guess what? You still only have $2.59 to your name, but how do you feel? And it's like a I've arrived, like, this is it. And I was like, wow. And I got that, God. And now He's like, all right, now let's get to work. And we go to work. And this is where we get from that. So it's been cool, man. Yeah.
Dude, congratulations, brother. That's a huge feat. That's one of those milestones that you'll remember for the rest of your life. And, man, I love you, dude.
I love you too, man. And dude, I want you to know this as I'm sitting across from you. You have been an awesome, awesome brother to me. And I think you meet people and God puts people in your life for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's by no mistake. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And everything happens on time. You know, even though our timing is a little off, and it's not how we want it. But when God puts people like you in my life who I trust, and it's like an immediate bond and that heart connection. I see you, and we have that connection where we make fun of each other, but we love the shit out of each other. We hold each other accountable, and it's just a great feeling to have people on your team, man. And I want you to know I value you, and I'm grateful for you, and thank you, dude, for coming into my life, because you're one of the reasons that I get to continue to do the things that I do and get to give the grace and the glory to God, because he deserves it. But I want you to know, man, I love you, bro.
Dude, you're literally one of my fucking closest friends in the whole world. And I don't know if you remember this, but when I first moved into the house, you and I were smoking a cigar, and I'd known you for maybe 2 days, and we were smoking a cigar, and I just looked over and I was like, Jay, we're gonna become great friends, dude. And you looked at me and you were just like, fuck, I was just thinking the same thing. And I was just like, all right, this is gonna work. Yeah. This is gonna work out.
Yeah, and it did.
Because I mean, I was at the point where I was just like, dude, I'm gonna do my 3 months here because I said I would, and I'm gonna get the fuck out. Mm-hmm. Like I hate this sober living thing. Like I miss my family in Houston. Like, I'm gonna do what I have to do just to say I did it and leave. Yeah. And I mean, you were the reason that I stayed in that house. Like, I mean, I we started getting this project and the other project, and but it didn't end up being a prison. It was just like a sanctuary almost. Like, it was like I get to wake up and joke around with this motherfucker all day, and I get to wake up and just give this guy shit, or I have someone who I genuinely trust and care about, as my best friend in that fucking house, just right next door. Yeah. So yeah, dude, I mean, words don't express it, but I love you too, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And we got to keep this thing together, buddy.
It's what it takes, man. It takes trust, and sometimes that's hard to find, and it takes people who that are like-minded, that will push you. Yeah. At the same time, I always use that teammate word, man, because that's like, for whatever reason, I've always been a part of the team, so that word means more than just what people think to me. It's that's like a bond. Yeah. That's just like, no matter what, I got your six. You know.
Yep. No matter what.
And that's cool, and we're navigating this thing together, and life is full, and it's beautiful, and it sucks sometimes, but I mean, but it's just is what it is. But it's not. It's like simply complicated.
Yeah, that's life. I mean, is it always going to be fucking sunshine and blowjobs? No.
Rainbows and orgasms.
but dude, we got each other in our corner, and we got good people in our corner. Yeah, and so keep it coming.
Yeah, keep it rolling, dude. So cool, man. We're about out of time here. Running out a little bit.
All right, guys.
But before we get out, we have to. Okay, there's some announcements. We have Russell coming up.
Really looking forward to that.
Dude, next week.
That's going to be a great episode.
But y'all are going to love our dude, Russell. Russell has 12, 13 years of sobriety. He is an addict, like an addict junkie. And it's just weird to see somebody have that much time that's, used to shooting dope and stuff. So that's wild. You're going to love him. He's a very humbled guy who speaks a lot of truth, and his experience has helped a lot of people. And one of the reasons that I go to my home group, you know. And so also shout out Bull That's Now, Fridays at 7 p.m. in the Arboretum, baby. I don't like to share this because I'm selfish, but if you want to come to a good group of dudes that are stable, that stay there, they come back every week, they fellowship afterwards. We hang out in the Arboretum. It's below the Cheesecake Factory. When it's inclement weather, by the way, we meet in the parking garage. So bring some chairs. It's fun. It's a good time. So anyways, just shout out that. He's going to be cool. Next week's going to be
Can't wait.
Cool. Yeah.
Can't wait.
And then we also have... We'll wait on the...
We'll wait. Yeah. That's a little farther down
you're
the
right.
Road,
yeah. So...
Thank you guys all again. We love you guys very much. Please... I don't know if I should say this, but feel free to leave some comments about our episode.
I don't know about this week. This one's a good one for that. But I mean, it was super authentic, so whatever.
But yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys. Any recommendations or words of wisdom or advice, we're always open to it. So thank you guys again, and we'll...
One thing, go ahead. So I wasn't going to stop you. I was going to let you finish.
Oh, yeah. That's all I got.
Okay, our goal here is to eventually, we've been doing this, and this is a hobby thing for us. We like to, and we've reached some really cool people and got some really, really cool messages. we love when you guys comment or send messages. We don't know all the answers, and we've talked about that. But we are here to like help you and to like give you support if you need it. Our goal is to eventually be able to give out a scholarship every single month for someone in sober living or to help them get into treatment. It's that's our goal. So we want you to know that, and we will get more information on that as we come. We're just building this thing, and we're trying to take it a step at a time, and our lives are super busy. And so we dedicate a lot of time to this, and we want you guys to know that eventually that's where we're going with this, and that's our purpose of this, is to help other people, and I think we can do it through that. So you're listening, you're sharing this, everything that you do to support this podcast really does help us in the long run to reach out and help other people. So I want to say thank you guys who have been watching and commenting and liking and sending us messages. It's really appreciated. So
absolutely. All right, guys, that's our show. Love y'all.
See you later, fellas, ladies, and gents, and refrigerators.
Jesus.